As the relentless waves crashed against the shore, a solemn reflection swept over me, permeating my very soul. In the twilight of a fading day, I found myself entranced by the poignant plight of my people, the resilient Bajau tribe. Once free-spirited nomads, we were now ensnared in a world that had cast us as outlaws, criminals without cause. It was in the fateful year of 2014 when the Indonesian government made its move, their iron fist descending upon 500 of our tribe members who dared to fish and cross borders. Our impassioned pleas for recognition, for the acknowledgement of our rights as rightful citizens, fell upon deaf ears, not just in Indonesia, but in Malaysia and the Philippines as well. Centuries upon centuries, we had traversed the expansive seas, our existence entwined with the ceaseless ebb and flow of the tides. The ocean was our lifeblood, our sacred identity. Yet now, we were expected to abandon our aquatic domain, to surrender to the rigid confines of a landlocked existence that failed to comprehend our true essence. In the humble village of Torosiaje, where my heart still found solace, preparations were underway for the revered ritual, Bendera Bait, a testament to our gratitude and unwavering unity. As the village chief, I addressed my people, my voice heavy with emotion and gratitude for their unwavering loyalty and participation. A torrent of memories threatened to consume me as I recalled the tender words of my beloved, tears welling in my eyes, as I stealthily pursued a stealthy spine foot, concealed amidst the swaying seaweed. The taut harpoon beneath my grip spoke of unyielding determination, a testament to the relentless battles we fought. "You have committed nothing short of treason," echoed within the chambers of my mind, as I sought water, acutely aware of the weighty burdens that rested upon my shoulders, the preservation of tradition and the hopes of my cherished family. A fisherman through and through, that was the essence of my being, an inheritance bestowed by generations of forefathers. Since boyhood, the call of the sea had coursed through my veins, an eternal rhythm guiding my every step. And now, as a father of 5, 3 of whom sought knowledge within the hallowed halls of education, I persisted in casting my nets, in hunting for elusive sea cucumbers. It was my duty to safeguard our heritage, to honor the wisdom imparted by my parents. This was who I was, and this was the mantle I would bear for as long as my heart continued to beat. In the distance, a familiar figure emerged, Sajo, his boat forging a path through the crystalline waters. "I have been toiling, dragging the net," he declared wearily. At that moment, we shared tales of meager catches and overwhelming hardships. The burden of procuring fuel for our vessels hung heavy upon our souls. "We are tethered in place. The engine is mute. Our coffers deplete with each passing day," Sajo lamented, his voice carrying the weight of the collective struggles we faced. Yet, a glimmer of hope twinkled in our eyes as we conceived a plan to explore the bountiful mangroves, where fortune might finally favor our endeavors. Raindrops descended from the heavens, a symphony of nature's tears, and we sought refuge within the shelter of our humble tent, yearning for respite from the tempestuous elements that assailed us. Though the rice was meager, lacking in abundance, we possessed an abundance of freshly caught fish to accompany it. A divine gift. "Are these cooked?" I inquired, my voice tinged with a sliver of concern as I held up a plate, gazing into the depths of my wife's weary eyes. In her gaze, I discerned the arduous journey we had undertaken and the formidable challenges we had surmounted together. As the nights grew darker and the whispers of impending change swirled in the wind, I clung to the comfort of my wife's embrace, drawing strength from the warmth of her touch. The trials we faced were unyielding, the tempestuous sea of bureaucracy unrelenting in its assault upon our very existence. Yet, amidst the chaos, love remained our steadfast compass, guiding us through treacherous waters. And so we found solace in the light of a flickering lantern, whispering promises of resilience and unwavering determination. In the quaint village of Torosiaje, nestled by the shimmering sea, life unfolded in a rhythmic dance for the Bajau tribe. As a member of this proud community, I often found solace and purpose in the embrace of the vast ocean that surrounded us. My days were spent aboard our sturdy fishing boat, a vessel that had weathered countless storms and witnessed generations of Bajau fishermen cast their nets. We relied on the bounty of the sea to sustain us, and each day was a delicate balance between survival and uncertainty. The words exchanged among the fishermen painted a vivid picture of our existence. "Want some mussels?" I called out to my fellow seafarers, offering the spoils of my morning's catch. "Bring them to me," came the eager reply. "Our catch is better with engine and ice." Indeed, modern conveniences had improved our efficiency, allowing us to preserve our catches for longer periods. But the advent of middlemen had left us disheartened. They bargained for our hard-earned treasures, paying us meager sums that barely covered our expenses. "Normally, it's not even a break-even point," one of the older fishermen lamented. "If there's any profit, it's so tiny that we can only survive for a few days." It was better back then. Much better. The nostalgia in his voice was palpable, tinged with memories of bountiful harvests and a simpler way of life. "Schools are for land settlers," an elder declared firmly. "Not for sea people like us. No teacher will venture out to the sea." Education was a distant concept, and we relied on the wisdom passed down by our ancestors. They had never gone to school, yet their guidance was our foundation. Different seasons brought forth different fish, and in the past, the sea had teemed with abundance. It was more fish back then, I heard one fisherman reminisce. So our parents were happy. But now, the monsoons brought only uncertainty, leaving us waiting for odd jobs to sustain us. We became temporary salarymen, trading our nets for meager wages. The struggle to put food on the table weighed heavily on my heart. "If I don't do this," I whispered to myself, we couldn't eat for the day. It was a stark reality that fueled our perseverance. Some of our children had ventured into schooling, seeking a different path, but the call of the sea always beckoned them back. Scholarships arrived too late, and they became fishermen like their fathers before them. Alive or dead, the sea determined our fate. "That's our creed," an elder said solemnly. We surrendered to the wisdom of our ancestors, understanding that our destinies were not within our grasp. Trusting in their guidance, we navigated the delicate balance of life and death, even as land dwellers tried to sway us from our course. The government had offered us houses on the land, a token of their concern for our welfare. "But we do nothing in the land," a fisherman said, shaking his head. "We still catch fish with these sticks." Our hearts remained with the ocean, despite the comforts of a land-bound existence. But the sea, our sanctuary, faced its challenges. Pollution tainted its waters, suffocating the fish that sustained us. Oil from ships drove away fishes, a weary voice declared. For example, last night, a fellow fisherman caught a barracuda and a few small fishes after working all night long. The struggle grew more profound with each passing day. Amid the trials we faced, the government sought to lend a helping hand. "Take your children to school," they implored. "It's better to take them to school than to neglect them." But for us, the Bajau tribe, the land was a distant concept. Land meant permanence, while our hearts yearned for the embrace of the ever-changing tides. We had been marginalized for far too long, our land usurped without compensation. "We here, the Bajau tribe, have no land." A voice trembled with frustration. "Does any Bajau receive a piece of land?" Never. Even our land was claimed. The echoes of injustice reverberated through our words, etching scars upon our souls. As desperation gnawed at our resolve, the outside world taunted us with its elusive opportunities. I tried to get a job in nickel mining. I confessed, bitterness seeping into my tone. But they asked me for a school certificate. I told them, "A certificate is no use when you are incompetent." Yet they insisted, leaving none of us Bajau with jobs in the mining industry. Their indifference pierced our hearts. Amidst the tales of hardship and loss, one truth stood steadfast. If I have to die in the sea as a fisherman, I will never regret it. I declared resolutely. This was my life, intricately woven with the rise and fall of the tides, and no matter the challenges that lay before us, the Bajau people, proud and resilient, would endure.